Today we start the second shloka of Mandukya Upanishad. Sarvam hi etad Brahma ayamatma Brahma soyamatma chatushpat. This is the second mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. Sarvam hi etad Brahma. All this is indeed, all this is Brahman. I am Atma Brahma. This Atman is Brahman. This Atman, that means a person's individual personality. We think ourselves to be limited by our name, body, our parentage, our family, our educational qualification, bank balance, etc. etc. But we are not limited. We are infinite, Brahman. So the very language says we and then we say infinite. So in language we use we, you, etc. That means our true personality is not restricted to we and you. We are much more than this I, you, we, us, they, etc. That is what is told here. I am Atma Brahma. This what you see as limited is in fact not limited, but it is unlimited. That that which you see as defined or restricted within spaces of boundaries of time, space and causation, they are not restricted. That which you perceive to be something small is not exactly small, and also it is not, you cannot call it big, because big or small are terms of comparison. What are we? We are infinite. That means there is no difference anywhere. There is no difference between anything at all. We have to understand this very carefully. Sarvami etat Brahma. All of this is Brahman. And then you are being told by the Upanishad that all of this is Brahman, but you are not different from Brahman. That means only Brahman is there. Whatever we see, whatever we understand, whatever we think, forms, names, etc., are all but because of ignorance. So only Brahman exists. Sarvami etat Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. And also you are also Brahman. That means there is nothing apart from Brahman. Otherwise, you go to a, say, a shopping mall and see so many products there. And then you say that all this belongs to this particular shopping mall, say Big Bazaar or something. But then you are different. You see yourself as different from the things which you see in the shopping mall. There is only an umbrella under which the shopping mall is there. Maybe a brand, maybe a chain of shopping malls. But even the objects within the shopping mall you are seeing as different. You see that there is a section for dress, textiles, clothes. There is a section for food items. There is a section for fresh foods like fruits, vegetables, etc. So even there you see differentiation. But you know that this is a place where I go, and this particular chain of stores I will find anywhere. Wherever I go, a proper city, there I will find such a store. So you know that that is a reference point. You know this is the store where I should go to. But within that store you find different departments. Within that store you find different products. And everywhere you are seeing difference between one product and the other product, between one section and the other section. And also, though it is a chain of stores, you are seeing a store which is in Kolkata different from a store which is in Delhi. And even in Delhi, there may be stores everywhere all over Delhi. So there are so many differences. But here, when the Upanishad is saying that Sarvam hi etat Brahma, it does not mean that everything is Brahman. What it means is only Brahman is there. Nothing else exists. And also that it is not that only Brahman is there and you are seeing it separately. You also are forming part of that. And the whole problem of us not able to realize God or not able to perceive God is because we are always seeing us different from other things. Till the moment we see us different from other things, as long as we do that, so long we will never be able to realize God. God you cannot see as difference. God is always seen as convergence. God will always be an experience, which is an experience of unification or convergence. Again, unification not in the sense that two things unite. There are no things to unite to. In that sense, the whole idea of unification will become redundant when you realize God. And only when it becomes redundant will you realize God. So this is a thing we have to understand. This is the core of God realization. Unless we understand this, we can never have the God experience. Because there is no experience actually. You have to lose the individuality. We have to lose individuality. We have to become one. Uh, we have to just let it go. So I am Atma Brahma. And now, interestingly, the Upanishad says, Saha Ayam Atma Chatushpat. Now this Atman has four quarters, it says. Or four, Chatushpat means four quarters. Just like a rupee has 100 paise. Technically now nobody will take paisa as a medium of exchange. 50 paisa also is not used anymore. So, but it has got four quarters, 25 paise each. So four 25 paises will make 1 rupee. In the earlier times, it was 4 annas. So 16 annas equal to 1 rupee, and 4 annas will 4 annas will make 1 rupee. And that is why even afterwards, 25 paisa was called by many people as 4 anna. The idea is that it is 1/4 of rupee. So now everything is Brahman. That means what? In the previous verse we saw that everything is Om iti etad aksharamidam sarvam. Everything is Om. Now here it is told that everything is Brahman. That means Om was the first manifestation of ignorance. From that manifestation came Brahman. From Brahman came that first manifestation of ignorance. Because of ignorance, this Brahman manifests as Om. But from that manifestation came this universe. This universe. So this whole universe which we see is actually a manifestation of Brahman caused because of ignorance. So the first manifestation was Om, and then it comes into this universe, manifold universe. Now, this universe, but nonetheless it is Brahman. There is nothing else, only Brahman has become into this universe. So now it has got 4 quarters. What does it mean? 4 quarters means what? 4 quarters means there are 4 stages, roughly we can put it. What are they? Waking state, dreaming state, deep sleep state. And then there is the real state, or I will say natural state. But people don't naturally find this natural state. That is why we have problem. So what is the waking state? It is called Vishwa. So the consciousness as found in the waking state in an individual person is called Vishwa. The consciousness as found in the dream state in an individual person is called Taijasa. Consciousness as found in the dreamless sleep state, Shushupti, in an individual person is called Prajna. So Vishwa is the consciousness which is limited by the state of waking state in a person. In that individual level, it is called Vishwa. In the dream state, Swapna Avastha, in an individual person, the consciousness is called Taijasa. And the consciousness in an individual person in the dreamless deep sleep state is called Shushupti. That is Shushupti, it is called Prajna. That consciousness in an individual level is called Prajna. So we have Vishwa, Taijasa and Prajna. But none of these states are the real state of a person. They are not the true nature of a person. What is the true nature of a person? True nature is beyond all states of consciousness. And that state is called Turiya. That is called Turiya. So here the Upanishad says that everything, this whole universe, is nothing but divisions, four divisions, depending on the state of consciousness you are in. Most people live only in three states of consciousness. Most means almost all people. Very few who realize Atman or Brahman, they go to the fourth state. That is the Turiya state. Now, you see, this A, U, Ma in many texts have been corresponded with waking state, A, U is dream state, and Ma is dreamless state. That is Om. Om has got three syllables. A, U, Ma. Three sounds. A, U, Ma. And in the fourth quarter, there is no sound. There is no corresponding letter or word or sound. So waking state is represented by A, dream state is represented by U, and dreamless Sushupti state is represented by So there is only so there's you see it is more pronounced, waking state, palpable, more pronounced it is. Then dream state, then it gets laya, it is completely getting merged. You don't have any kind of experience in the dreamless state. You have no experience, you have just experience of bliss. That is your true nature. You have no other experience. And what are the bodies which are connected with these three states? The bodies which are connected is, they are in the waking state, Sthula Sharira is there, gross body is there, and the subtle body is there, and the causal body is there. All three bodies are there in the waking state. What is the gross body? Our body, external organs of action and organs of knowledge, etc., etc. What is the subtle body? It is the mind, your intellect, your ego, and chitta. All these four are there in the subtle body. And what is there in the causal body? When you are in dreamless state, causal body is only existing, nothing else exists. And what is that? Ignorance. Ignorance is the causal body. And in the dream state, your causal body is also there, and also your subtle body is also there. So in the dream state, your mind creates the entire universe. A person sees an elephant in the dream. How can a person see an elephant in the dream? You cannot see elephant in the dream, because when you see elephant in the waking state, you actually see an elephant which is there in the waking state. You are standing in a place, an elephant is standing in front of you, you see the elephant. But in the dream state, you are sleeping, you are in your room, you are on your cot, but you are seeing an elephant. How can you see an elephant in the dream state? Elephant, how does that elephant get inside your head or your brain? So there is no elephant, but the elephant is there. Then you go to all places in the world. So how can these things happen? They don't exist, because in their form, in their nature, in their size and shape, they cannot come into your body. It is impossible, but still it is existing. That means whatever you see in dream is all false. It is not true. It is not real. It is unreal. You cannot have a Boeing, or you cannot have Airbus, and you cannot get into it and go and fly and all that. All these things you see, but it is not possible, because you are lying on your cot and you are sleeping, and in your head all these things are going on. So that means this is ridiculous. That means it is impossible. So dream state, only your mind produces the entire universe, and in the waking state, your body is also there. But now comes the $1,000,000 question, as they say. If in dream state you can see everything that you see in waking state, then what exactly is the difference? People say that in dream state it is not palpable, it is not tangible, whereas in waking state it is tangible. That is the great argument given by people, that is why waking state is real, dream state may be unreal, but waking state is real because in waking state things are tangible. When I touch the table, I can feel the table. But that is not true, we know. Why? That doesn't mean that anything which is not tangible, it does not exist. How can you say that? You cannot feel so many things. You cannot feel the electrons, molecules, etc., atoms. Does that mean they do not exist? They do exist. So tangibility cannot be given as a proof of things that this thing does not exist. Love, for example, it may not be tangible, but it is existing. So then again we come to the same problem, that is waking state true? We make such a hue and cry of waking state. Is it true? How do you know that you are now not dreaming? So this whole idea of studying an Upanishad or any scriptural text is not to simply study and then say that, oh, I have read Mandukya Upanishad. That anybody can read. Many people study that in philosophy departments or in religious studies departments across the world. Many people study these things as a part of their career, educational or otherwise. They study it. Many people teach it. But then it is only some words. It doesn't give any kind of use, or there is no utility in studying these texts unless you contemplate on them, analyze them. And if you analyze them, then you will understand. You see, this whole Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, is so intrinsically related to neuroscience and psychology. Now new things are being discovered because of advances in technology which is being used by neurosciences. Earlier it was difficult to understand what is going on in the brain. Now you can actually see it on the monitor. So now people are asking again this question: how do we know that waking state is not actually dream and dream is not waking state? What exactly? We say tangibility, but tangibility is also not a very good criteria. So how do we know? Because there are people who will say, I got a tangible dream, I got a very lively, very palpable dream I got. But again, in dream we eat so many things, the taste does not linger. We touch so many things, but the touch, the sensation of tactile perception is not so tangible in the dream state. But again, the same thing in waking state also. How many people actually understand the differences between small, fine differences between various foods? It is only because of your evolution of mind or evolution of your taste buds that you can understand. Otherwise, all people cannot understand. You give tea to a person, they will not be able to understand the differences in the flavor of tea. That is why they have tea tasters. Or in wine, that is why they have wine tasters. It is a very nuanced, very subtle thing. All people cannot do that. So even there we find. So even there we see that music, how many people can actually understand or even relate to differences in music, subtleties of music? People can't. You take a person to a classical concert and that person will stand there and will not understand what is going on in that concert. And after some time will say, hey, bore, what is this? They are doing. It doesn't make any sense. So there also, even in the perception of the gross state, the gross body is involved, and waking state, even there we see that there are differences in perception depending on the differences in evolution of your sensory organs. So not all people can understand everything. And if that is true, that means again we come back to the question that how do we know that waking state is waking state and dream state is dream state? How do we know that dream is dream and waking is waking? Here I am reminded of a wonderful series, television series which was broadcast. It was called The Brain. Later on it was produced in the form of a book by a neuroscientist, Richard Restek, his name is. There he says, he makes a
Maharaj, can you please repeat the name, Richard?
Richard
Author's
Restek.
name?
Richard Restek. Restak. And
Okay.
the book's name
And
is The Brain.
huh.
So it came out of originally it was a TV series, and then he made it into a book. So there he
Hmm.
says that it is very difficult for, I am paraphrasing his words, but this is what he says. He says that it is very difficult for neurology to tell whether a person is waking, sleeping, or in deep sleep. Deep sleep, it is easier to tell, but waking and dreaming, whether a person is actually waking or dreaming, to distinguish between those two states is very difficult in neurology. So if you are waking, you put some kind of some sensors on your brain, and you check, and then you find the same kind of activity. When you are dreaming, also same kind of activity. So how do you know that you are not dreaming now? Or vice versa, when you think you are dreaming, how do you know that you are not waking? It is difficult. Even for neurologists to find out that is difficult. So that brings to the question that why don't we think that this whole world is a dream? Why don't we understand that this whole world is as a dream? See, this is so beautiful, wonderful, so inspiring, so thrilling actually. This whole universe is a dream. What you are seeing is a dream. So when we get up from dream, do we think, oh, I was going to San Francisco, but I now I'm not going? We know that it was a dream anyway, it was just a fanciful thought. But we don't do that in waking state. In waking state, we don't do that. We think, oh, I was about to go and it got cancelled, and maybe 3 days you will not talk to anybody. You go into a small depression because you had some chance
Maharaj,
to do something. Yes.
one doubt came in my mind.
Hmm.
It is, see, uh, in the waking state, if we see San Francisco or Los Angeles or some any other place in Delhi or Mumbai, we could feel it. Okay, how this is look like this city. But in dreaming state, if we never see San Francisco or Mumbai, can we be able to see what things are there? No, right?
People do see all kind of strange things in dream.
Things.
People do always see strange places they have never been to. You see, do you mean to say you
That is
have?
real.
Do you mean to say
Yeah,
you have never seen a dream where you saw something which you have not seen in a waking state?
right.
You have seen, right?
No, no. I'm telling in waking state, if we see Mumbai or Chennai, the feel, and if, we never visited Chennai, and we are visiting like in dream we are visiting Chennai, it will be not real as like now we are
That's
in
what
the
I was
waking state.
talking about. That's what I was talking about tangibility. Means it is not tangible. That's what you are saying. Means if I touch, it does not
Yes.
feel real. So it is not tangible. So does that mean that whatever is not tangible is not real? Or does that mean that
No.
whatever is tangible is real? Again, the other way around also. So many things are tangible. So you see, suppose a person falls in love. That person cannot eat, cannot sleep. So tangible. But where is love? What is the length, breadth, height, and weight of that love? Similarly, love you cannot touch, but is it not there?
Yeah, it is there.
So where did it go? Anyway, by Shankaracharya says that just like a cow has got 4 feet, so the consciousness has got four parts. That means cow may have 4 feet, and they are all different, but they belong to the same cow. They belong to the same cow. Similarly, these consciousness states may be different, but they are not different. They are only
But
different
Maharaj, tell me one
perceptions.
thing.
Yes.
If, is there any live example, or you saw someone who saw some place in a dream and it was real? After he visited that place, he feels okay, that was real.
It is very common. Very common. It is called extrasensory perception. It is very common. I have seen many people. who have this ability to see things before in dream. And I have also seen some people who see things when they were seeing things which they earlier saw in dream, when they were actually seeing it in waking state. I have seen them. I was standing with them or I was with them at that time. And then they go through an intense emotional experience. They cannot tolerate it because suddenly what they saw in the dream state comes true. But my question is not that. My question is, how do you know that what that person has seen later on is not a dream and what that person has seen earlier is was waking state? What is the empirical
Yeah,
parameter which is not there? As I told you, you can also Google up, you can purchase books or you can download books from the internet and read. It is very difficult to neurologically say that a person is waking or dreaming. And some people may have all the feelings of gasping, or feelings of love, shame, hatred, everything in dream.
Maharaj, but why does it happen that we remember certain dreams, but we don't remember all the dreams?
And generally it is, if you wake up during a dream state, then you usually remember that dream. But if you wake up, our sleep is divided into two cycles. One is dreaming phase, another one is non-dreaming deep sleep phase. If you wake up during deep sleep phase, you don't remember the dream. If you wake up during dream phase, you remember the dream. That is the general thing. And that is how it happens. So whenever you see a ghost, have you seen a ghost?
No.
Not even in mirror. Anyway, whenever you see a ghost, suppose the ghost is coming and trying to strangle you and all that, and you want to speak, you want to shout, but you are unable to shout, all these experiences you have. And then when you see that ghost, then mostly people, that means when you have a nightmare, people generally get up in the middle of the dream and they remember that nightmare. That is why people remember nightmares, not good dreams, because they don't get up during good dreams. They are not woken up in the middle of a dream. So you see, the idea is that the same consciousness, first the Upanishad says that everything is Brahman. But because of ignorance, you perceive it to be four states of consciousness. But these four states, they belong to the same Brahman. Means they don't belong, it is just a wrong reading of Brahman.
Maharaj, it has happened several times with me. Whenever I'm having this nightmare or whatever, bad dreams, it suddenly it comes to me that I start uh, chanting the mantra which I have. So as if that will protect me. So even in dream, I have that consciousness that uh, I have this mantra, and if I repeat it, I will be protected. So why does
Whatever,
it happen?
whatever you do in the waking state, the same consciousness you have. Why is it that in dream you are thinking that you are the body, but how many of you can actually see your body in dream? Anybody?
No, no.
Anybody?
No, never.
But the essence is there, that I am there, that feeling is
No,
there.
No,
But
I have
that
seen
you have seen what?
I've seen my like body as like different. Like I'm seeing it as a third person, and I'm seeing myself like as we you
No,
know.
but how distinctly have you seen your body? That's the point. You're seeing it, correct? But
Okay.
how distinct was it?
No, I always like it. Mostly my dreams are that I'm different from like I'm seeing myself.
No,
I
no, that
don't
is
know.
how it happens. For most people, it is like
Huh.
that. But what I'm saying is, how distinct was your body? Means, how distinctly did you see? Did you see it just like you see in a photograph?
Uh,
Huh?
I don't know.
Ah, you did not see. That's the point. Because we cannot see our body distinctly in the dream. We see ourselves to be separate, etc., but we don't see it distinctly. We don't see it distinctly. So the point is, that dream, then how do you know that? So whatever you do in the waking state, you see it in the dream state. You feel ashamed of yourself in waking state, you are ashamed of yourself in dream state. You feel afraid, you are afraid in dream state. So how is it different actually? That is the point.
Maharaj?
Hmm.
Yeah, actually, Maharaj, I have a question. So earlier I used to have one experience when mostly I was kind of a kid or like on my teenage, and after that also for some time. That when I'm visiting a place or there I'm talking with somebody, suddenly it will occur to me that I have visited, like the same thing has happened before. I have visited the
It's
place
called
and
deja vu. It is
uh,
called deja vu.
okay. Why did that happen?
It's a thing which one of those things which people are unable to explain till now. This is a psychological phenomena which is not yet explained. Just like extrasensory perception. What is extrasensory perception? I know things which will not I means some person will know things which is happening somewhere else. So that is extrasensory perception. So similarly, deja vu is a perception, something you are going to some place or you are seeing somebody or you are even passing through some place or you are in the middle of the conversation and somebody is telling you something and then you know that after this will happen. You suddenly know it. You know that this person will tell this thing. So that is called deja vu. That means already this thing has happened somewhere. Now how that happens we don't know.
Maharaj, the same thing I had a question. It happens like many of the sequences like you will be remembering as you told now. But is it like all these things already happen in our dream and we store that in our memory and we open up the those things when we pass by those particular scenario? Is it like that or it is something different than what the dream state we are talking about?
As I told you, this has not been explained properly. So we don't know why it happens. So it could be, we can only guess, but that also is not an explanation. It could be that we have already seen these things in waking state somewhere. Or it could be that we have seen bits and pieces of this incident or that thing, event, and then we are putting, our mind is putting it together and saying, Arey, this has already happened. Or it could be that your mind has already seen it in the dreaming state. Or it could be that it has not it has not happened at all. Your mind is able to forecast it, that it is going to happen. But all these are only assumptions which have no kind of research proof or nothing. We just know that this happens, but how it happens, nobody knows. Just like ESP, extrasensory perception. People can read minds. How can you read mind? But people can read mind. How can you see things or understand things which is happening somewhere else, very far away? But many people can do that. We call it ESP. We have just given a name for that, extrasensory perception, but we have not explained it. We don't know.
Okay.
So this is one thing in this Mandukya Upanishad. All states of consciousness will be discussed. What I plan to do is I plan to bring in all kinds of disciplines, psychology, neurology, artificial intelligence, philosophy, everything into the discussion. Because Mandukya Upanishad is a study of consciousness. How consciousness is one consciousness, but that one consciousness is wrongly understood as four consciousness. So that one consciousness is understood as waking state, understood as dream state, understood as deep sleep state. And also you also understand that you can go beyond these. And some people go to that state also. Very few maybe, but still people go to that state. So this itself is a so intriguing phenomenon. So much so that across the world people from various disciplines are trying to study consciousness. What is it that makes a robot and not a human being? The difference they say is consciousness. But can consciousness be put into a robot? Can consciousness be programmed into a computer? These are all questions we still don't know. We means humankind doesn't know. But we will try to analyze these questions, and as we proceed in this Upanishad, you will understand that it is going to be a very thrilling journey, because this Upanishad will bring you, make you question things which you think are supernatural. You will realize that they are not supernatural, they are very natural. Things which you think are natural, you will understand that they are not so natural, they are extraordinary, etc. So you see, our whole idea of waking state is that waking state is something which happens. So waking state, according to me, is a dream state which all people see the same kind of dream. So if two people see the same dream, you can call it a waking state for those two people. Otherwise, that is the one criteria which is there in waking state, that two people go to the same place and see same objects. So we say, oh, this is waking state. But what if all people were to dream the same thing? Then dream will become waking state. All of you have now gone into silent state anyway. So any other questions?
No.
What happened? Suddenly everyone has become silent.
Trying to grasp.
I had one question.
1 second, 1 second. I have to take this call. 1 second. Hello. हाँ प्रणाम महाराज, प्रणाम महाराज. हाँ प्रणाम. हाँ महाराज. हाँ महाराज. महाराज. हाँ. हाँ কি কম্প্রোমাইজ হয়েছে গেছে মানে? হ্যাঁ কিন্তু ওটা মানে ওই কনটেক্সটে আমি ওটা দেখেছি, ওই কনটেক্সটে ওটা ঠিকই আছে। কম্প্রোমাইজ বলতে দুটো জিনিস বোঝায়, যেমন আপনি জানেন, একটা হচ্ছে আইডিয়ালের সঙ্গে কম্প্রোমাইজ, আর একটা হচ্ছে লোকের ব্যবহারের মধ্যে কম্প্রোমাইজ। তো মহারাজ ওই দ্বিতীয়টা বলছেন, ওটা প্রশ্ন উত্তর পড়লেই সবাই বুঝবে ওটা, মানে ওটা মিসলিডিং নয় কিন্তু। হ্যাঁ নেই নেই নেই, আপনি ওটা পড়ে দেখুন, মানে আপনি বুঝবেন। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ। না এখন মানে ওইটা তো আপনি জানেন না, ওই মতামতটা একটু ডিফারেন্স সবাই কিছু কিছু থাকবে, কিন্তু এটা ভালো হয়েছে মহারাজ, মানে ওইটাতে ওরকম মিসলিডিং কিছুই নেই। আর আপনাকে ওই একটা কপি তো দেওয়া হবে, আমি সেটা বলে দিচ্ছি। আপনি পান না, না পাননি না, আমি ওটা বলে দেবো। না না আপনার কপি না, এই যে এটা মহারাজের জন্য, এটার জন্যই একটা আলাদা যাবে, যেহেতু এটা আছে বলে, সেটা সেটা। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ মহারাজ, হ্যাঁ মহারাজ, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ মহারাজ। কেন এটাতে অনেকের অনেক মতামত থাকবে, তো এরপরেও যে প্রশ্নগুলো উত্তর থাকবে, অনেকে বলবে হ্যাঁ এটা কেন লেখা হয়েছে, ওইটা কিছু করা যাবে না। সেটা তো যেমন একটা মহারাজ উত্তর দিচ্ছেন যে কেউ আমার নিন্দে যদি করে, পলিটিক্স করে, তাহলে কি, তো মহারাজ বলছেন যে ওটাকে এক্সপোজ করো, আর যদি না পারো তাহলে ইগনোর ইট। তো এই এক্সপোজ করার ব্যাপারটা অনেকে বলতে পারে যে কেন এক্সপোজ করবো বলে, সেগুলো সেটা তো কোনো শেষ নেই। হ্যাঁ মানে খুব ভালো, মানে খুব ভালো। ঠিক আছে,
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Sagar.
Yes.
Is Maharaj there? I had a question for
Maharaj.
hello.
You,
Yeah, Maharaj, I had a question.
Yeah, please tell me.
You
Sorry for
said
I had to take
no
a
problem.
call. I could not postpone it. Sorry.
You said it's this world is manifested out of ignorance, and at the same time we say it's a Brahman. How we explain this controversy?
The world universe as we see it is not Brahman. The world
Okay.
universe as we see it is not
Is
Brahman.
manifested. Okay. Okay. So
As we
the
see
as we
it
see it
is
is
so this stock example you can take of snake and rope. You see, rope is there. Rope as it is okay. There cannot be any snake without that rope. If there were no rope, there would have been no snake. But because of darkness or ignorance, you see snake on that rope. Similarly, if there was no Brahman, there will be no universe. But
okay.
because of ignorance, you wrongly understand this universe to be, Brahman to be universe. So similarly, because of darkness, you wrongly understand rope to be snake. So the snake is true as rope. Similarly, universe is true as Brahman, not as this universe. Understood?
Yes. Yes.
It is not that nothing is there and you are seeing universe. That is not the case. Brahman is there,
Yeah.
you are seeing it as universe. The rope is there, you are seeing it as snake.
And how do we transcend from all the three states to Turiya state?
By rejecting
This is
whatever is not real. By
Okay.
rejecting whatever is not real and trying to analyze constantly what is real. By doing this, Sat, Asat, Vichara. That means Sat means real, Asat means unreal. By doing this Vichara, you understand. Hmm. What? You could not understand it. Hello?
No. Yeah.
Huh.
I'm trying to grasp it.
Any other question? Shrubaji and Nandini and Papia, they are also silent.
I asked the question.
Huh? Huh?
You already asked my question.
Oh, there is no other question. All your questions are.
No, still grasping.
No, Maharaj, I was just wondering,
Hmm.
there are certain people whom we label as mentally unstable,
Hmm.
right? So how, I mean, is it proper? So there must be certain standards that on the basis of that we say that they are mentally unstable, but actually, is it proper or they are more stable? They have uh, just like you said that waking state is a dream state and dream state is a waking state. So maybe it can happen like that, that they are the stable people and we are unstable. I mean,
So extremes look alike. Insane, ignorant person will be also looking like a person who has realized God, but acts like a unmatta, means mad person. It is given in the scriptures. So they may both look alike. They may both be there. So it may look alike. But what is the difference? How do you understand that this person is actually a mad person and not a God realized soul? Is by the suffering that person is going through. If a person has realized God, that person will be in bliss, will be happy, will have no doubts. Two things. One is will be in bliss and will have no doubts. But a person who is mad, means who is insane, I don't want to use the word mad, who has got some psychological problems, that person will have both suffering and will be full of doubts. So by that you can understand that this person is not a person who has realized God. Otherwise, we see in the religious history of mankind, spiritual history of mankind, that people who realized God, who had realized God across religions were always said, most people were told to be insane. Sri Ramakrishna also was told that he has become insane, etc. So how do we know the difference? The difference is by this test, that those people were who had realized God were full of bliss, and also they had no doubts.
So Maharaj, if I can interrupt you here. Now those people whom you're saying, those who are insane, they also have these 4 stages of consciousness. So can they also reach the Turiya state?
They can reach, but they will have to do a lot of spiritual practice. I mean, you see, what happens is uh, for them, they are creating their own worlds. Just like in dream state, we create our world. Everybody's dream state is created by them, their own mind. So these people, they are creating their world every time. In the waking state also they are creating. They are creating their own world. So they are dreaming all the time. They are staying in their own world. They create some kind of imaginary world and stay. So now the only difference is that this world is completely different from their actual personality. Why does somebody get a psychological problem? We have got two kinds of selves. One is our true self, our true. You see, our true self is Brahman, but because of ignorance, we have created one kind of imagination for ourselves, our body, what I can do, what I can write, speak, etc. All my capabilities, etc. My bondage, my love, hate, etc. All these things together. That is one person's personality. So many things put together. The true personality is Brahman, but this is one person's personality. Now, this personality is not always understood by that person himself or herself. So that person has a idea about one's own personality, which we can say imagined personality. So there is one true personality, that is Brahman. But apart from that, there is one personality which you have in your world. And there is an imagined personality. When a person has a difference, too much difference between this imagined personality and the true real personality, then that creates a psychological conflict. So a person may not have any problem, may not have enemies, but starts thinking that I have got many enemies. So that is called paranoia. Becomes paranoid.
Okay.
So that creates a psychological conflict. A person may think that I can do so many things, etc. But in reality cannot do anything. Much work, cannot do much work, has social anxiety problems, cannot talk with people, etc. So that person again will have a psychological drift. So then that person will have psychological problems. So that is
Hello.
how. So that is how they get this problem, and that is why they are having psychological illnesses. So for them to become spiritual, first they will have to understand what they are truly seeing in the waking state. Then they will have to understand what they are truly seeing in dream state, and only then they can transcend.
Okay. So Maharaj, what happens to those people who, I mean, there are people who have sleep disorders. They have to be administered some medicine or some injection to go to that deep sleep state. So what happens to them? Is the deep sleep state what you're referring to, that should come naturally to people, or
So deep sleep state, even if it does not come naturally, it can be induced by medicines. It's possible.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if it is induced also, it has the effect. Not the same effect, but it has the effect. Deep sleep state is necessary for every human being, every day. Dream and deep. So deep sleep. Dream sleep and deep sleep should be roughly 50% of our sleep. So if we sleep for 4 hours, 2 hours should be deep sleep and 2 hours should be dream sleep. Whenever a person is unable to sleep because of anxiety, because of psychological problems, etc., then that person is given tranquilizers, sedatives, and then that person goes into sleep. So when that person goes into sleep, mostly automatically that person gets 50-50 sleep. 50% is dream sleep and 50% is dreamless sleep. But sometimes when the psychological problem is severe, then that person's dreamless sleep is less, and that is a cause of concern that creates lot of mental problems. It aggravates that mental problems, those mental problems.
Maharaj, but I had seen one of the Swami from Ramakrishna mission only. He sleeps only 1 hour or 2 hour in a whole night. So how they are able to manage that?
What do you mean you have seen?
I mean, he sleeps. He sleeps only 1 hour or 2 hour.
No, but how do you know? How are you so sure about it?
He told me. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, he told you. So you see, then people who meditate, they get the same experience of deep sleep. In fact, maybe richer than deep sleep, and then they are able to stay, because in meditation you can get the same state of deep sleep, the same kind of or even better than that actually, because you are meditating. So this is a proven fact. A lot of studies are there, mainly on Zen Buddhists, on Brahma Kumaris, and also other kinds of meditators. So they have seen that they meditate, and there are different kinds of waves in brain. So those waves are almost like the waves or lack of waves which are present during deep sleep. So if a person meditates, technically it is possible for a person to go without sleep also.
Okay.
So any more question? Okay, so
Maharaj,
today, yeah,
no
tell me.
question, but one feeling.
Uh,
No question, but it's in my mind.
yeah, tell
The
me.
feeling is, I'm thinking everyone having some trouble until he or she realize the Brahman.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So all of us are insane. The sanest person is a person who has realized Brahman. All of us are insane. Only our degree of insanity
So
differs. That's all.
yeah, different level of means Maharaj. That means if someone realize the Brahman, he will not have any dreams further.
I don't know about that. For the simple reason that I have not realized Brahman. So I don't know.
Hy- just how can I say, hypothetically I
Hypothetically, you are
statement.
saying. Hypothetically, I don't know. Because you see,
Yeah.
when the person is in samadhi, there is no mind. But when the person comes out of samadhi state, mind is there. So I don't know. That person lives because of the sanskaras which are remaining to be exhausted in this life, which are called prarabdha karma. Mm.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell what happened. Hello, hello, you're telling? What happened? Hello?
Suddenly I couldn't hear anyone, so I was just asking.
Because no one was speaking, that is why.
Okay.
You see, it's very simple, not complicated. So, okay, so today we will not have Shraddha because today I could not come on time, so it is anyway delayed. But I think we have confused everybody, no? Sufficiently. So all of us have got confused now. Hmm. So now you can think whether you are dreaming or whether you are waking.
That's what we are trying to make out actually. Is it a dream or?
The
I think Maharaj,
famous,
it is not a dream because you already told, right? If 2% are experiencing the same thing, then it can be a real one. So I think so. This is confirmed. This is not a dream.
how can you confirm? Suppose two people have the same dream, which have also been reported. There have been instances where two people had the same dream. So why can't five people have the same dream or six people have same dream? Seven people.
No, they have the same dream simultaneously.
Yeah, it can happen, but yeah, as you told, right, it cannot be simultaneous, right? And perception from 6 to 7 people are not going to be imaginary, right,
What is imaginary
Maharaj?
is my question.
What is it actually?
You're
Now
not
the
getting it. You're not getting it. You see, if you say deja vu happens, how can you explain deja vu? We have just put a name, deja vu. We don't understand, so deja vu. What is deja vu? I am going to this place. I have never in my this life, I have never gone to that place. And suddenly I know that, oh, there is this person and that person is talking. I can tell him or oh, this person will talk like this. How can I say that? I have never met that person. That is the first time I am meeting that person. But I can tell that this person will tell. And it happens suddenly. And you think this has happened already. So how do you explain it? So we say imaginary. But I am telling, how do we know that this waking state is not imaginary? What is the proof we have got? You see, if we are speaking scientifically, then everything should be scientific. Then how do we know that it is not imaginary?
I'm just thinking, Maharaj, like how it is possible to have the event, the frequency is defined, then, people are coming and joining the call and talking about a single thing. All of these are or can be a imaginary sequence?
You
I
see,
don't think so, right?
according to me, if at a particular level something is happening, that can be, as we say, if, for example, at a lower frequency something is happening, I can increase the frequency and make it happen at a larger scale also. So if a particular event is happening, scientifically speaking, on a smaller scale, then I can maybe upscale the whole thing. It may require a lot of infrastructure or something, but then I can make that event happen on a larger scale also. Is it not? Suppose I can do fission, nuclear fission on a smaller scale. I can make it on a larger scale also. Similarly, if two people imagine things which do not exist. For example, a person thinks that this person loves me, and the other person whom he thinks is being loved or loves this person A. Suppose A thinks that B loves me, but B thinks that A hates me. Both are imaginary. Both are happening in real time. I don't know what is real time also, but both are happening in real time. So B is thinking A is hating me, and A is thinking B is loving me. Now that if that can happen on a scale of 2 people, why can't it happen on a scale of 7 or 8 people?
But both of them are having two different experiences, right? So one thinks that
Why can't
the
no?
other
I
person
gave you an
loves him.
example. I gave you an example. Why can't both of them imagine that they are loving each other?
Okay.
It happens, right?
Yeah,
So
that's possible.
two people
Yeah, yeah.
imagine same thing. You see, how do you explain primitive habits, superstitions? What is superstition uh, other than imagination? Superstition is an imagination. People are all seeing ghost. There was no ghost, but all people see ghost because a weak mind can be influenced. So a weak mind is influenced, and people see ghost, but there is no ghost. So 10 people see the same person who has probably put some makeup and come as ghost. All the 10 people see it as ghost, and in a village everybody says हाँ उस पेड़ में भूत है. So that is superstition. We have given a different term. That, but what is superstition? It's imagination, right? It's just imagination. So how is it that generations of people are imagining because they don't have knowledge? I am telling the same thing. So if generations of societies and generations of people for a period of time can imagine things which do not exist, which we call superstition, why is it not possible that this whole universe is a superstition? Huh?
Yeah, that's possible. But how to negate that, Maharaj? I mean, this is the problem statement.
No,
Now
you
again,
you 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 want to, you see, as a scientist, what would I want to do? Would I want to achieve a system which creates more consumption of fuel, etc., or would I want to have a more better fuel efficient system? Naturally, I will want to have a fuel efficient
that's yeah,
system. Yes. So why would
correct.
I want to negate the idea that this could be a superstition? Because if I negate this idea that the suffering is a superstition, then I will have to suffer more. Instead of negating the idea that the suffering is superstition, why don't we actually try to prove the idea that suffering is superstition and I get bliss?
So Maharaj, the lesson or the idea is just like we dismiss a bad dream, a nightmare when we get up, then waking state also, whenever something negative happens to us, let's dismiss it, and then as just like we dismiss a bad dream and then
No, the point is
move
that
on.
bad dream and good dream also are dreams. Why should you
Yes,
negate only that is
right.
the negative
Not
nightmare?
only
Huh.
negative, but
Huh.
also don't get too much elated as
No, no,
the.
no, no. So that is
Person.
what, that is the spiritual practice. That don't
Mhm.
sukheshu vigata spreha dukkheshu anudvignamana. Don't get disturbed in suffering, and also don't get attached to happiness. But then everything, if everything is dream, then everything is dream.
Hmm.
Hmm. So then nothing is not dream. Everything, we are all dreaming.
So Maharaj, do we then will tend to become stoic, right? So is that
No, but
what?
yeah, the stoicness will not, the stoicity will not come for the simple reason that if we think that we are all dreaming,
Mm-hmm.
but we are having suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So the crucial point is to get rid of suffering. If I have to get rid of suffering, then I have to constantly analyze what am I doing. If I am dreaming, if I know that I am dreaming, then I should act as if I am in a dream. What do I do when I am in a dream? A common example of a dream is people see that they are in an examination hall and they are giving taking an examination and they don't know any answers to any questions. This is a very common
Mm-hmm.
dream.
Yeah.
But then suddenly they realize that, Array, I have given all examinations, so I've taken all examinations so long in my life, and now
Mm.
I am working in such and such company and I'm in a good post. Something like that they suddenly remember.
Mm.
Then they don't bother about that examination.
Mm. Mm.
So, in this waking state also, if we consider it to be dream, we should know that I am Brahman.
Huh.
So, I am Brahman. Why am I dreaming all this? Who is my father? Who is my mother? Who is my daughter, son, and brother, etc., etc., etc.? What is mine? Nothing. And who am I? Nothing. So, if I remember that, actually I am Brahman. If I know that,
Mm-hmm.
then I will not. I will just treat the same way, waking state, as I treat the dream state,
Right.
and then only I will get rid of suffering. So it is not that if you think that the dream state is also waking state or waking state is also dream state, people will start only sleeping. No. The point is that you have to constantly analyze this and constantly be calm, knowing that you are only Brahman. Your true nature is divine. So you have to be calm.
Mm-hmm.
Calm, not agitated or not even perturbed or not simply indifferent, not at all affected.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Swamiji.
What happened? Hello?
Hello.
Can everyone
Yeah,
hear?
Maharaj.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, we are able to hear.
Okay. So this is the thing. So anyway, this dream and that, it is, you can read things on dreaming, waking and that, and by neurologists, uh, neurological studies you can read, not philosophical studies. So then you will get lot of insights. Then you will understand better. You will get lot of insights also.
Sigmund Freud. No. Interpretation of
Neurology,
dreams.
Sigmund Freud. Neurology.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay,
You
okay.
go to the internet and search neurology, dream,
Huh.
neurology, sleep, like that. Uh,
Okay.
uh. Latest, latest research you study, not old,
Hmm.
century old research. Latest. See people what they are finding using all kind of devices and studies. There are so many kind of scans which you can do of the brain while a person is dreaming, sleeping, etc. Deep sleep. So study all that and you see. So then you will get lot of ideas what actually people are. I just as I quoted a neurologist. You see that neurologist.
Hmm.
That neurologist is uh, telling that it is very difficult to understand whether you are in a waking state or dream state. So that's a
Who is
profound
that
thing. I told you, na, Richard Restek. Arre, I gave you the name.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Ha ha ha. Which interesting. The brain.
So you see this, how can a person, so this is something beautiful, no? How the person is saying that it is difficult to understand whether you are dreaming or whether you are waking. And you can also read this book, How God Changes Your Brain.
Oh, what a lovely title.
How God Changes Your Brain.
Who is the author?
Andrew Newberg.
Andrew.
Andrew Newberg means Newberg. Newberg. Andrew Newberg.
Okay.
So this person is telling how spiritual life or meditation it changes your brain. What is the effect of that on brain? So you see, it is not something which a person who has nothing else to do is blabbering in Mayavati. It is some serious neurological thing. Okay, because otherwise you may think that, oh, this fellow has nothing to do. and so he is a foolish fellow, he is telling like that. Hmm? Hmm.
Maharaj, are you recording the discussion?
Yeah, I am. Why?
Yeah, no, I'm just asking because
Yeah, I'm
you
recording.
covered them one day. That's why.
Last,
Maharaj, I missed last class. Did you have that recording so that we can refer it?
yeah, I recorded. I will upload it. So the recording is there.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
So any other question? Nothing? Hmm?
Nothing from my side, Maharaj.
Okay then. So we will call it a day. And
Okay.
so please read as much you can on these things, because I am going to I will try to make this as interesting as possible. Uh, Seriously, we may also go into brain anatomy and all that. So we will see how much we can understand the brain, whether mind is brain, or brain is different, mind is different. There are so many questions which are almost eternal questions. So we will go through all those things. Okay then. Have a good
Okay.
day.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
Okay,
Maharaj.
Maharaj.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskar, Maharaj.
Good day.
namaste.